Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Etho. Welcome back, guys. Oh, don't worry about me. I'm fine. I'm feeling great. Very refreshed. Just took a little nap, a little dirt nap. It's all good. Uh-huh. So, guys, let's start out with today talking about last episode, shall we? I want to clarify a few things because I know there was a lot of confusion with that episode. um, so, first off, that was a backup, obviously. So I copied our vanilla world here, and I just used my mod pack on it and created that whole setup in my modded world on a backup. So nothing that we did last episode has actually affected our world here. We're starting out as things usually are here. If you're wondering why I made such a weird episode last time, it's because for weeks now, you guys have been asking me in the comments to do something weird or crazy for episode 404 because of the error code 404, like the page not found error code you sometimes get when you request a web page. So I've been thinking of ideas for it for a while, and I decided I wanted to try to surprise you guys and confuse you. And mission successful, I would say. Yeah, but yeah, I had a lot of fun making that. It was actually one of my best received videos too. It had a lot of likes, a lot of dislikes. It wasn't for everybody, but those of you that did enjoy it, a lot of you said it was your favorite episode, which makes me very happy. Very happy indeed. I should not have gone through this portal. Oh, man. Alright. Okay. There we go. And we are in the nether. I just wanted to show you guys where we're at with that nether tunnel. I've been working on it here. Just kind of working on it step by step. And it's actually just about done. You can see we almost got these arches all the way down. And got the mycelium in. Starting to put in the nether brick. And it's slowly coming together as a huge project working on this. But for today, guys, I had a lot of fun with last episode. This episode I'm also very excited for because we're going to be doing something pretty cool here. So let's head over to the man cave area. We'll just go in our little teleporter here, shall we? Look at this. And 3, 2, 1. There we go. You like my little teleporter? That transition probably wasn't very good, actually. It's hard to match the lighting in the nether to the overworld here. But anyway, today, guys, the idea we're going to be playing around with is actually a teleporter. We're going to be making an EnderPorter, as I'm going to refer to it anyway. This idea, I saw it on the Reddit the other day. It was posted by Pi. He made a video on a rotating piston contraption, and he was able to suspend enderpearls on it, so they would constantly bounce on the moving slime blocks, and the enderpearl would never hit the ground. And I'm going to link his video in the description, by the way, if you want to check it out for yourself. So I've been trying to make an enderpearl teleporter for so long in this game, and I know a lot of other people have been too. So that video is huge. I played around with it a little bit today, the idea again, and it turns out you don't need a really huge, crazy contraption to do it either. You can actually do it really simply. And I just want to... Today's going to be a research episode, okay? We're going to play around with the idea, and I want to kind of explain to you how it works, and also show you how to build it, and we will play around with ways that we can actually refine it and use it as a teleporter, like an actual teleporter in our world. So the idea is you need a piston that moves up and down, and it bounces the ender pearl on top here. Like when you throw it, this piston needs to move up and bounce it back up before it hits the ground. If it hits the slime block, it does actually absorb it, so it has to be moving when it hits it. Alright, guys, so we're going to be doing some experiments together here, some research. I did not spend a lot of time on this yet. I did figure out a method that works, so This isn't it. I just want to see if this works or not. If it does, it's going to be a little bit more compact than what I did before. So it's just a sticky piston with a slime block, and I got a comparator clock. It's going to move it up and down really quickly like that. And then what we're going to want to do, put a water source here. The water slows down the ender pearls. They have higher friction in water than in air. And we want them moving as slow as possible, so it's more likely to bounce off the sticky piston or the slime block there. And then what we're going to do is just make a column of water up here. When I did this before, like I tried this when slime blocks first came out, and I was only able to make it bounce twice in a row. I think I might have got it to bounce 3 times in a row, a couple times. But I just never could get it consistently working, because I was trying to precisely time everything. And it turns out if you just spam the piston like this, it actually works. Very simple. Alright, so if we throw this up, there's a chance I think it might work. Okay, that didn't work. Let's do a couple times here. I don't know how consistent this is. Nope. Woohoo! That's cool, you can actually bounce in the water off the slime block. Yeah, it's not looking very good for this. Let's try a couple more times, just in case we're getting unlucky or something. Oh! That one seemed to take longer before it stopped. No. Okay. This isn't very good, this method. My other one I tried earlier worked better than this, so I'm going to redo this. Okay, so this is the method that I got working earlier today in a creative world. It's pretty much the same thing, except I'm using regular pistons. One's going up, one's going down here. And we have 2 slime blocks. This is the one we're going to bounce it off of, this one over here in the middle. Hopefully. Again, I haven't played around with this much, so hopefully it actually works. Okay. So we get it going like that. And same thing as before, we're just going to try to throw an ender pearl up here. And look at that. Look how easy that is. Unbelievable. So cool. So it's going to keep bouncing on that slime block, as far as I could tell, indefinitely. Like, it's always pushing it the same amount and activating it at the exact same time. It's kind of caught in a loop there. So it's going to keep going until you actually shut off the machine. And then it can hit the ground, and then you will teleport. That was weird. As far as I could tell earlier, though... Oh, we're fine. We're good. Earlier, it didn't seem like I could get it working 100% though, so we might try to refine this a bit more today. But it's pretty good. Like... Oh. Shut it off again. Like, it seemed to work at least 50% of the times I'd throw an ender pearl. Let's try it again. So you're wondering probably, well, how am I going to use this as a teleporter? Well, I'll show you that in just a second here. Actually, it's pretty consistent, isn't it? That's 3 in a row it worked, so it's not bad. Not bad at all. So we can leave the chunk and come back, and it... Or leave, like, the loaded chunks and come back, and it's still fine, as far as I could tell. So we got to look into ways of remotely flipping the switch, basically, activating it. If you're playing on a server, you could have your ender pearl bouncing up and down, and then if a player wanted to, like, call you to their base, for example, if you have your ender pearl at their base bouncing up and down, they could just push a button and you'd be there instantly. They could instantly teleport you to their base whenever they wanted to, for example, which is pretty cool. But in single player, it's a little bit more tricky because you don't have that other player loading the chunks and activating it for you. You got to come up with your own methods. The first one I want to try is just a hopper clock, and I'm going to build it between chunk boundaries, so hopefully it keeps the chunk loaded. So it says chunk 15, chunk 0. I think this is a chunk boundary between this and this. So that's where I'm going to put the hoppers. The items will flow through and hopefully keep the chunks loaded. And let me set this up. Alright guys, so here is our experiment. This is what we're going to try to do. We have 2 stacks of items in here, so that'll give us a little bit of time. We have the hoppers between chunk boundaries, so hopefully this chunk over here stays loaded and this machine keeps working. And after a certain amount of time, we should be able to teleport to here. Although, as I'm thinking about this, I almost am doubting it now. But we're going to run far away from here so that hopefully we're far enough away the chunks unload. And we'll just see if we randomly teleport back there after a certain amount of time. The reason I think it might not work is because when you load chunks in this way with redstone and stuff, it doesn't actually load entities. So I don't think that ender pearl will be moving when the chunk is being loaded with the hoppers there. Maybe if we push the pistons into the ender pearl, it'll activate it, but on its own, I kind of doubt it. But we'll see. We'll give it a little bit of time here. Yes! Yay! That is so cool. So the idea is, like, I could be at my amplified base, for example. That's thousands of blocks away. I might need to run an errand to my man cave here to pick something up, and then I want to go back. What I could do is just activate a machine like this on a timer and run over to the man cave, and then after a certain amount of time, I would just get teleported back. I wouldn't have to walk back. So that would be pretty cool. This is like a simple way of doing it, but it's not very controllable. So we're going to look into one other method here. Oh, I might have got excited a little too soon. It didn't work this time. I'm all the way over at the stronghold base. I'm going to make my way back and just see if we teleport eventually here. Okay, so check this out. We're at Z650. We can probably go even a little bit further here, probably up to 700. Just been doing a little bit more experimenting. I should teleport any second, I believe. Maybe not. Maybe I got too far away. There we go. And now we're at 206 on the Z. So we teleported like 500 blocks there. The reason we were able to do that is because I turned my chunks render distance up to 32. And 32 times 16 is 512. At 16 chunks render, we can only teleport 256 blocks from the teleporter here. So it turns out there might be some limitations to this. When it doesn't work, when I go far away outside of the render distance and it doesn't teleport me and I come back, the ender pearl isn't there anymore. Like, it's not bouncing around in here still. It's not, it doesn't teleport me to the spot once the chunks load again. It's just gone. So it's like it's getting destroyed or hitting something, but it's not actually teleporting me when that happens. Alright everybody, so this is now quite a bit later here. I've been playing around with this idea, trying to figure out the mechanics and what's going on. And I got a good grasp of it now. So the big issue was because I was playing on the 1.8 pre-1 release of the game. I've now updated to 1.8.4. I might teleport here. I'm not sure. Maybe, maybe not. Nope. Oh, there we go. I had an ender pearl left in midair there. I was wondering if it was going to take me back. Yeah, so I was in the 1.84 or 1.8 pre-release, and in that version, the reason the ender pearls were just disappearing on me is because, like, if you throw an ender pearl, leave the game, and come back, it doesn't actually save the pearl. It's just gone when you come back. In the 1.84 release, though, it does save it properly, and because of that, the EnderPorter is going to happen, guys. It actually works in 1.84, which I'm pretty happy about. Still the same thing, though, as before. Those chunks over there, they're not going to load the entities, even though the redstone is probably still running right now. So it's not until I get back within render range, which is about 500, or somewhere around the jungle tree, I believe, is when we get within 256 blocks of the timer thing. Alright, let's just ender pearl there, I guess. Should be time up by now, I would think. So we should just randomly teleport as soon as those chunks load within my render range. I think. There we go. And now we're back here. So by now, I'm guessing some of you, your eyes are glazing over and you're like, Etho, get to the point, man. Why should I care about this? How can I use it? Well, I'm going to show you something I've set up here. I've been working on this for a little while. And I got 3 EnderPorters set up in my world right now. We can add more. But I got one in the man cave over here. So I just got suspended enderpearls at all 3 of them. And they're hooked together with redstone. This is the other way we can control it instead of using a timer. Just have a button, and this is probably the best way of doing it, honestly. So when I hit this button, it's going to activate the other EnderPorter that I have by the lake here. Alright, this is the midway one over here, so I also have another one over at the Nexus. This button takes me to the man cave, this one takes me to the Nexus. Before I teleport again, I would want to reset the ender pearl here. And like if this is my destination, fine, I can go do stuff. But if I want to go to the Nexus now, just hit that one. And bam, we're at the Nexus. Which is pretty cool, isn't it? Like we transported hundreds and hundreds of blocks in seconds doing this. And we can set up a network of these all over the place. They're really easy to set up. They're pretty easy to wire. The only real pain of this is we got to run a redstone wire, or 2 of them actually, between all the EnderPorters, and these stretch like hundreds of blocks. Yeah, so basically the way this works, let's say this is the EnderPorter by the lake, this is the one at the man cave. That button over there from the man cave has to connect to the clock at the lake. And then the lake one has a button that connects to the clock at the man cave here. So we have 2 wires running between them. And basically from the lake, it activates this wire down here. And once it triggers this clock, once it shuts it off for a split second, that allows the ender pearl to land, and we get teleported. Because it's within render range. It's only about 200 blocks away from here. So yeah, let's just go over really quickly. I tried to simplify this the best that I could because it's kind of complicated, right? These are the conditions you need if you want to do this. You should be using Minecraft 1.84 or later. The EnderPorter needs a trigger device, so either a button like that or it needs a clock like we played around with before. To actually activate it, to disable it so the ender pearl can land. And the ender pearl must be in a loaded chunk. And there's 3 ways I know of doing that. You can either load the chunk by yourself, which is limited by the render distance you have. So however many chunks times 16. Where is it? Where is it? Video settings. There we go. So that's your render distance. It could either be activated by another player, and that's limited by whatever the render distance of the server is. And a third way, the only other way to load a chunk that will process entities is the spawn chunks. There's a 9x9 area at spawn that always loads entities. Like the ender pearls will always be moving there. You can find that with a compass. Let's see if we got one over here. Actually, we could probably just make one. Simply Sark has some pretty good tutorials on chunk loading if you want to check that out. Let's see, compass and how to find your spawn chunks and all that stuff. But basically, the compass will take you directly to your spawn point. Oh no, it's nighttime. Darn it. And I found mine like quite a while ago. We've been using it for that ender pearl transport thing. Let's just sleep so we don't get mobbed. I've updated to 1.84 and I went through the nether and I just got wrecked by zombie pigmen. Like, didn't even have a chance to react. As soon as I went through the portal, I just got mobbed. It was insane. I died like 4 times today. So yeah, you see how the compass is focusing on this point here. So from this point, a 9x9 area of chunks with this as the center. If we look at our chunk numbers here, if we go this way, It's at 0. Now it jumps up to 15. So we just crossed into a new chunk. So we go 1 chunk, 2 chunks, 3 chunks, up to 4 chunks. Whoa, from our spawn there. So up to where I got this log here is as far as entities will be loaded. So if we set up one here, it would always be running, and we could activate it from anywhere in our world using redstone. There's just a few more things I want to tell you guys about this as well. Right now, you can see my frame rate's pretty smooth, but once I get within 16 blocks of this, for whatever reason, Minecraft, right? My frame rate just drops. Like, it's terrible. It's pretty choppy. When I was on the 1.8 pre-1 release, it was perfectly fine, but on 1.84 it sucks. So keep that in mind. You don't want to put it somewhere you're going to be a lot, because it'll probably drive you crazy. Also, the sound is really annoying. In 1.84, they changed it so enderpearls don't collide with players. So I believe you can actually set up several of these, like if you want to have a reserve, and if they're spaced apart. Rather than activating this for like a full second and a half, you might just send it a quick little pulse, and maybe only one ender pearl will hit the slime block, and then you'll still have a few bouncing around if you want to keep like several of them going. I don't know if I'd really recommend that though. And the other thing, it turns out this backing over here that I got is actually pretty important to stabilizing them. Somehow it's affecting their thing, or at least on the setup. Yeah, you see now they're actually not staying suspended. Yeah, so you need to have that backing, otherwise it's not going to work. Oh, or it might bounce 3 times at the start here, and then it'll eventually just mess up. I'm not doing very good here. It can bounce a few times before it messes up. 1. Yeah. So put that backing on if you do this. Well, anyways, guys, I think we'll probably wrap up our episode here for today. I hope you enjoy this crazy new contraption as much as I do. I think this thing is awesome. I'm going to be using it a lot in the future, playing around with it. I'm going to try refine it a bit better too if I can. But it works pretty good as it is. This is the kind of stuff I just love in Minecraft. When you can create new devices like this that add new features to the game, even though all the pieces have been there in the game all along, pretty much. Although this doesn't work in older versions. As I pointed out, it has to be 1.8.4 for the enderpearls to save properly. Anyways, let's get to it. The comment of the day, it says, "Did you just use your mod pack with your survival world, Etho? How did you do it? I don't think 1.8 versions of the mods you used in the video even exist. Please make a making of video for this. It would be great." Yeah, it's not that complicated really. So I just copied my vanilla worlds, then I applied my mod pack to it that I use in my modded series, and that is 1.7. But the reason I had prismarine blocks and that kind of stuff is because I added Botania to it as well, and Botania has prismarine blocks as part of the mod, and they look exactly the same as in vanilla Minecraft. So that's where those came from. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward, really. Whoop. Just a crazy episode to try surprise you guys and make you not know what was coming next in it. Yeah, I think that's going to be it for today, guys, though. If you have any more questions about this that you want answered, I'll try answer them in the future. I might make a tutorial on this, but I think I've pretty much covered everything today, so unless I make some major refinement to it, we'll probably leave it at there. But anyways, hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.